Hi everybody, nice to have you back again. And I thought I was going to have to start this video out with a dunce cap, a Facebook dunce cap. But I didn't have to. I didn't have to because yesterday what happened was, as you know, I am now on Facebook. And the only reason I did it, and the only thing I'm really going to put there is orchid stuff. So, and I'm not good with Facebook, and I'm not used to it, but I can't type fast. So some of you people have managed to catch me when I was on, and we've been sending messages back and forth, and it's been fun. And there is a lot of orchid pictures coming. Now, the only trouble I've had is I want to make sure that, say you message me and we're typing things back and forth, and nothing is like private, but you also have pictures of your orchids. Now, I'm trying to get those orchid pictures to go into the pictures area where the other orchids are. So I'm still working at that, and if anybody's got any hints for me, I'd appreciate it. I did manage to do one, and I forgot how I did it, but I did do it, but then I think people kind of thought it was my orchid, but at the top it said whose orchid it was, so I have to figure that out better, but it's going good. We're seeing lots of orchids, and people are communicating there with each other, and I think we can help each other out and have some fun. So anyway, what happened was, I'm not big on the news, and I don't like it in front of me all the time. So anyway, there's all these ads, and I'm trying to, there's those 3 little dots over on the side, and one of them says, you don't want to see this ad. So I kept pushing, and then there's a list of reasons, which I did, but every time I see the ad I didn't want, because they made it available, I was trying to take them out to make all our orchid pictures closer. Well, I don't know if that's why, but I went to go on to my, hi Maggie, I went to go on Facebook, and it said, no, you're no longer allowed to come on, and you need a cell phone with text, which we don't have. So that went on all day, and then I thought, so there goes that. And then miraculously, last night, it came back on. So I was quite happy, and I didn't have to wear the dunce cap. So we have got to talk about a few things, and at the end I'll finish with an orchid tour. It was my 6th watering day today, and as you know, I have a watering schedule that I follow, and quite often I pin it right under the video. There's a little picture of my, what my picture is for my name. And if you go into that and then click read more so it gets big, because it will be big this time, you'll get a copy and you can maybe print it. So what I do, or make your own to suit your watering schedule, because I do not believe in using large amounts of fertilizers. The weekly saying? Well, I go with a quarter of what the recommended amount is on whatever you're using. And whatever I'm doing, I go less, because yes, you can give too much, and they need a break. And this watering schedule is made up so that it runs over 6 weeks, and each week is a little different. So they're getting variety, because too much of one thing isn't good. And so I am on City Water, and you can go on, if you're on City Water, they usually keep it like pretty good. And I tested my city water, which I had done before. And I actually got these little, they were $2 at a garage sale quite a long time ago. And they do the pH. And so I just put a little bit of water in, and I slip it into a little bit of my water for about 10 minutes. And then you just compare it to the pitcher. And mine is about 6. That's what it is. So I'm not worried, because your pH, they like to say, would be 5.5 to 6.5. So mine's running about 6. So then, that's just with the clear water. And today, because it was my 6th watering day, and I was using my seaweed fertilizer, so what I did was, then I put the amount of fertilizer I use, and that is all written on this sheet. I use like 1 teaspoon in 4 gallons. So if you're using smaller amounts, you can break it down from there. Like I have a bucket, I'll put less than that. And I have small bowls, I'll put less than that. And because that makes my watering go faster for different size pots that I have. So then I took another one with the seaweed extract. And it did not change. And then you want a flow through one. So after you're finished watering, and pick a pot that maybe you haven't changed the media in a while, because it may be a little more acidic than the others. Check one of those pots, and all I did was I did my normal watering, and then I sat the pot that I was going to check just in a little bowl, so water will keep dripping out. And with that dripped water that has come out, I did another test, and it hardly changed either, so I'm good. Now, it's funny about when I first started with orchids, I didn't know that much, and time goes by, and we're still all learning, we're still all doing something different. So I think the fertilizer, this is good. If you're on city water, it works for me so good. Now, if you're on different types of water, there's lots of information out there. So what I've done for calcium on this, it says, well, I haven't been added calcium because our CalMag, because our water, our tap water is pretty good. There's usually a fair amount of calcium. A lot of places say it's enough. But I decided, and I had also been adding crushed old brick mortar, which is also works. But I decided that I was going to add the CalMag to my water schedule. And what I've done was, week 1 is a black tea soak. Week 2 and 3 is my normal fertilizer. I'm going to add the CalMag, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of CalMag in my sink, and that holds 4 gallons. And take it back from there for smaller vessels. So, and I'm going to mix that in, and then I'm going to add the fertilizer, which is 1/4 of the recommended amount, and that's where I'm adding CalMag, and I'm only doing it for me and city water on week 2 and week 3. So then we go to week 4 and 5 and 6. So, and there's information of what fertilizers I use, etc. on the bottom of this list. So now the problem we run into is people on well water, rainwater, depends on where your water's coming from. We have a huge big lake out there. That's where our water comes from. Then your water quality is different. Therefore, the pH test. And there is I forget what they call them, but there is little meters. I think they're expensive. And this works. If you just got a few house plants, this works. In fact, I never did it for a long time. I just did the rainwater in it, and I've sort of become more aware. So anyway, that's what I did. But what I want to do for you is I'm always reading. And if you want to get more scientific about it, Rick L. Orchids is not doing videos anymore, but his videos are out there, and he has a lot of more scientific stuff, along with some other people. But in reading, and this is from the Vancouver Orchid Society, and it's a really good information. And what I want to do is put this below the video, because in this sheet is the best, it says below is a brief synopsis of the roles the elements from fertilizers play in the life of your plants. This is the best little information where it's not short and it's a ton of reading. So you might look at it and you say, oh, nitrogen. And then here it'll say signs of not enough nitrogen. Phosphorus, calcium, it goes through them all. It's really good. And I stood in front of my plants and I thought, I went through each one. And there's some things I found, like if your leaves get a little yellow line around, there's some things in here that, oh, you can say, you know, every once in a while go through, look at your orchids, oh, maybe mine's missing that. And then if that's what this says, then you can always do further investigation. Look up if it's nickel, look up if it's something else to find out more about it. But I will definitely put this underneath the video. And there was another one that I put on Facebook, and it was how your water can affect your orchids. Now I'll put both of these back up. I'll put this one on Facebook too, because some people have trouble downloading on their phones from the YouTube. So I'm going to put it on both places so everybody can read it. And so that's a good thing. And be careful, because yes, you can put too much calcium, and that you will read about too. So I think that's it for that. I just wanted to make sure that you understand why I'm changing. And I'm going to take you for a trip around to see how the orchids are doing. And I brought the dendrobiums in just for this video, but I am leaving them out on the patio. They get lots of light out there, and they can take a lot more cold. So the cymbidiums are outside, and the dendrobiums are normally on the patio till it gets a lot colder. So our nights now are going to about 50 Fahrenheit. And lower, and we're a little sheltered in there inside the solarium, so I am watching them, but too cold for the orchids, so they had to all come in, and we're heating up in the day. We have beautiful sunny days to work on our projects and get all those chores done for winter. For those of you that have this big winter issue, then you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's always something to do. So I think I will take you on that little video tour. I have the misters running just for this video because our humidity is pretty good, especially after watering. After watering, I don't usually keep it on. This is the humidity and the temperature in the house. Humidity on the right. So water, the humidity, the misters are on, and they've all been watered. So, and as you can see, I have a crack of my window open here and the other side. It stays like that day and night for the next 2 or 3 weeks, because at night they get a little cooler, which I want them to do. So I want to show you, kind of this time of the year we start to get another growth spurt. So I noticed a few more leaves coming, and it's looking pretty good. And these are the little wire baskets. What I like about them is you can just put a hook on them and hang them almost anywhere. And there's Early Bird. As you know, a couple of them decided to flower early. So, and then I have another wire basket, and I just hung it off of this plant stand. So, and the leaves look good. I don't use any shine or anything on my leaves. After watering today, especially when I have the seaweed extract, I take a little pad and I wipe all the leaves down, both sides, looking for scale and just kind of giving them a little TLC. I do not always do that when I have the fertilizer, but I do quicker maybe. So here's another one, and of course I just hung it from the plant stand. And so I did notice that one's getting a new leaf too. Now, this is the one, you know, it was happy. I saved it. It crashed during carpenters were here, and one leaf broke right off, and then I had to cut that one, as most of you know. And ever since it's been, hey, you saved me, I love you, because it grew this leaf, and now it's growing this leaf. And I sometimes will just put a piece of paper towel just to help hold it, because when they're really big like that, they want to tend to fall over. So I do that. And also, usually the wide-leafed Phalaenopsis prefer to be a little bit further back from the sun than the narrow-leafed ones. So I see a new leaf coming down in here. The new leaves, the newest leaves are all looking better than the other leaves. That's for sure. And especially with this one. This one got a bit of frost earlier in the year. But it's perked up, good root growth. And this is a new leaf still growing. And this is Moonglow. She's one of my oldest orchids. And this is a new leaf coming. And she has a spike on her. Okay, this is a new leaf too, so it's still firming up, but as they become more aged, they firm up. So that's about it for the window. And anybody interested in how my rabbit's foot fern is doing, it's doing pretty good. It loses the odd little, I noticed lots of little tips, growth tips. And it loses the odd one, but there's also new ones coming. So it seems happy, and I love it. So that's good. So let's just go back into the other room now. My Christmas cactus down on the floor now. Okay, I've got the misters going here, and the reason in the winter the dendrobiums are going back out till they get a good cold, and then I'll cut back on how much water I give them. But they did get the seaweed today, and I put them up here in most of the winter because it's all glass, it's cooler and brighter, which they like. So that's why they get that position. But they'll be going back in the patio for a while. And down here, I see some more new leaves coming there. And this is one I ripped off. Sorry to say, don't know how I did it. This one's been perking up. It shows its struggle, but it hung in there, and it's grew this nice leaf, and now there's another new one coming. And here I'm also propping up a new leaf. Now on this table I have some I'm babying. It's my babying table. And we put the glass a little bit bigger. We found that glass at a thrift store to go on this table. And because it has humidity all around and it gets a little less light than over here. So here's the big lip that I had on Valentine's. Now it's in here. It seems okay. And here, these are two that are being babied that went into the sewer pot that Jack did. And I don't like it when the leaves are too close together after watering. I like the air to get in there, so I stick paper towels to help. So this one's coming along. It has a new leaf, and so does this one. So although they did suffer, and that's why they're here, their leaves went pretty limp. But I'm working at improving that in the future. And this, of course, is my oldest orchid that had this like 2 foot long the stem that went into the media, and I cut it off and grew the baby off of the bottom half of it that had no leaves, just roots. And it's still growing, but Mom has perked up. She has a nice new leaf and she's perked up, so I have good hopes for that. So this is the nursing station, and there's 3 more here, being kind of a little more sheltered, a little more back, so that they don't get as much light and they can recover and be strong. So that is it for today. And have a good one. See you on Facebook. And it takes me a little while after the video goes up to pin those, but they will go there. So anyway, love you all. Have a good day or night. Bye.